Yeah.
All right. So that was Caveman Ninja, aka Joe and Mac. While I change the stream title, you can go ahead and give your thoughts first.
Yeah, that was pretty good actually. I quite enjoyed that. Um, it was it was quite nicely presented as well. Very not too. I don't think it aged too badly.
Mm-hmm.
Platforming was a bit fiddly, but I feel like it was quite a simple concept. It was some fun little enemies. The boss battles were hard and some unpredictable sides, but
Mm-hmm.
overall that was quite enjoyable. I could sit through the rest of those levels and carry on playing. I think that was quite good.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
A thumbs
Marissa.
up from me.
Marissa just noticed that you're outside and you advertised the portable switch.
Oh yeah. Do,
Oh,
do,
yeah,
do,
I
do.
do agree. Let me just go ahead and say right off the bat that having a simultaneous two-player platformer is a pretty cool thing for this era. I think.
Mm.
Of course, there's a few beat 'em ups here and there that have simultaneous multiplayer in that regard, but not so much for platformers. Even Mario didn't really have this squared away during the Super Nintendo era. Even with Super Mario World, it was Mario and Luigi just kind of alternating in that regard. But I like the fact that we were able to just play together. Now, that being said, as I was saying before, if a gripe is that if one person loses all their lives, one person's just gonna have to carry on by themselves until they lose all their lives. One strategy, I guess, is you could just let yourself die
I
early
was gonna
and
say
get.
you could just kill yourself, couldn't you? Yeah.
You could, but I don't know if that's. I mean, it's a solution, but I don't know if it's an ideal one. But
No, it's not the best.
yeah, but otherwise, the game itself is quite fun. I like the power ups that you can get. The music is nice. It's a game with a sense of humor, which I can always appreciate in a game kind of like this, especially with its description and then how the actual gameplay went. I guess if I had to give
Mm.
another little nitpick, is that like you said, the platforming is okay, but it can be a bit finicky at times, and then boss and enemies can be a bit unpredictable, which pretty much means you'll lose lives more often than you might like. But the gameplay is very simple and effective. Where you have two buttons assigned to jump and two buttons assigned to your shoot, which is just basically whatever weapon you're holding, and it's a very simple game to grasp, and that's what I do like about it. You and a friend could just easily have a sit down and play a little bit of this or try to progress, and you'll both understand what to do. It's very simple, even with all the buttons that were available on the Super Nintendo controller. Very simple game, and I really appreciate it for that. Um, Talking a little bit about that super game, which I don't know if I'd really, like you said, I don't know if I'd really call that super per se, but it's a definitely interesting way to go about the game as well, where now you can actually interact with a person. That means friendly fire, which means you can't just like throw your stuff. It makes the game a bit harder, but it can let you like
Mhm.
jump on one's head to like get high power ups, and that's good as well. Definitely a harder game
Oh, do you
overall.
think that was the difference? Do you think that was because
Yes.
it was super? So you could. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
super
Okay.
just means you can interact with when regular game, we're essentially just two different entities, parallel entities that just like
Mm.
interact with the environment independently. Whereas in super game, we're both there at the same time, so we can hit each other, but we can also boost each other up as well. So there's a little dynamic there. And I mind you, also only did the normal difficulty as well, and it did get a bit difficult. I figure if we did easy, it might be a bit easier, but I shouldn't think of how hard could be because we did struggle a little bit there, even on these first few worlds. So that's pretty
Yeah,
fun.
that mammoth boss wasn't great.
Yeah.
He wasn't easy.
No, not at all, not at all. I think this game actually holds up fairly well. It does have its issues,
Hmm.
certainly, and I'm wondering if Joe Mac 2 addressed some of those issues and we end up having more smooth experience as a result. But I enjoyed it. I think if you there's a one player mode, but I really do think this is a game that's probably best with another person, just because of how the interactions work and whatnot. Like again, it is called Joe and Max. So if you're only playing as one person, I feel like you're doing the game a disservice playing by yourself.
Hmm.
So that's my thoughts. I do think it holds up pretty well. It's a fun little time. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with most of that, to be honest. Yeah, it
Okay.
does definitely hold up. I could happily while away an afternoon going through all the rest of those stages. It's
Oh yeah.
quite good, like you said, with two players as well, because it was. I remember when New Super Mario Brothers Wii, I think it was, came out,
Hmm.
and they were like really pushing the fact that you could play four players on one screen all at the same time, frantic scrambling.
Oh
So yeah,
yes.
and there wasn't really much of, like you said, much of the platforming element of games having two player at the same time.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it was good. Yeah, it held up well.
I think so too. So I am curious about how our next game will hold up. So let's go ahead and transition right into that.